Hi, everybody. Welcome to No Story is Sacred. If you've never listened before, basically we're four siblings who grew up talking about the art of storytelling. Now that we're adults, we're still talking about it, and we're inviting you to join the conversation. I'm Kat, and I've got cider in my ear.
I'm Brendan, and whenever I go gambling, it does always involve a large dance number.
I'm Pippin, and if I were a bell, I'd be ringing. Fuck off.
And I'm Alex, and I've got the horse right here.
Is it
Thus
Paul
proving
Revere?
That we all...
Yeah.
Just, yeah.
Tat, he's got it. Da.
I like how if the listening audience isn't aware, no, we can't sing. So...
Hey, wait, I didn't join in on it, so the jury's still out on me.
Whew, let's wonder about that one. Quiet.
Fuck off. I have a song in my heart.
Also, I've got the singing voice of an angel.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Bren, I may have blasted my gain, so watch out for that.
Wonk. Today, we're talking about the 1955... Wait, that late? 1955?
I mean, it's when it was turned into a movie.
Okay. Movie musical Guys and Dolls. If you've never watched Guys and Dolls, the summary according to Wikipedia is, gambler Nathan Detroit has few options for the location of his big craps game. Needing $1,000 to pay a garage owner to host the game, Nathan bets Sky Masterson that Sky cannot get virtuous Sarah Brown out on a date. Well, to be fair, a date? Havana fucking Cuba.
Yeah,
okay.
that's an amazing date.
But also that's a major time commitment. Like what the fuck did they talk about on the plane? All right, whatever.
We'll talk about
Not
it.
that they had to
We'll
go, not that they had to go through TSA in the 50s.
True. Despite some resistance, Sky negotiates a date with her in exchange for bringing people into her mission. Sinners, if you will. Meanwhile, Nathan's longtime fiancée, Adelaide, wants him to go legit and marry her. Okay.
Yeah, fair
That's
for
it,
Adelaide.
that's the show.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah. All right, guys, wrap it up. We're done.
Listen, so often the summaries we pull from Wikipedia and Google and such are crap and don't actually describe the movie as we see it. This one, nah. That's,
Yeah.
I mean, there are some details missing, like the Havana portion.
Yeah.
Also, like lots. Yeah.
And negotiation is a generous way of referring to what Sky
Well,
did.
to be fair, he said, if you go on this date with me, I will give you this thing. And technically.
That is a negotiation.
Technically, yeah. Technically.
I'm just saying, the description didn't lie to us, as so many have in the past.
That's true. This is clearly based on the actual movie as presented, as opposed to, for instance, what was shown at the press junket. Or what have you. Pippin, you're the musical aficionado, officially.
Yes.
You want to give us the rundown?
So, this is actually one of my favorite musicals. Everyone can fight me.
Because it is good, I agree.
Yeah, despite the social stuff about it, especially in the modern day, yeah, it's just, yeah, it's a fun musical.
It was one of the first musicals I ever remember watching.
Mm-hmm.
Grandma's.
Yeah, at Grandma's. I watched it a bunch.
Yes, you did.
It was always available at the Chappaqua Library.
Hell yeah,
some
shout out
reason.
to the Chappaqua Library.
Yeah! And it's just a fun show, and no one dies in it, unlike my other favorite musicals.
So much less murder than usual.
Right?
Just a threat of murder.
Well,
I mean-
usually I'm like, if there isn't a body count, is it really a musical?
I mean, you know that Big Julie, he has a body count behind him.
Oh yeah, sure. Also, for the record, the warnings at the top of the movie.
Hell
right?
yeah. Hell yeah.
There was warning for foul language,
Yeah.
drug use, and sexuality.
Hell yeah.
And I'm like, really?
Well, drug
You know
use, that dulce de leche, just enough Bacardi to act as a preservative.
Yeah, that was a lot of booze. A lot of booze.
Is that what we're calling drug use, though?
In the 50s?
I'm just saying, I thought they warned separately for alcohol.
Oh, that's a good point.
And one
Cigarettes.
can probably assume that what some of the folks were smoking was not tobacco.
Okay.
Well, okay.
Listen,
yeah.
I will give you drug use, kind of. I'll give you sexuality, because hey, the hot box, proudly
and
presents.
also Havana, Cuba.
And Havana. But where was
Also, so
the
that's
foul
sexual
language?
assault.
Well,
Wait, what do you mean where's the foul language?
what foul language was there?
Dame?
Well, you guys blacked out during it, but there's a portion where Sky Masterson just does an outright, swear fest where he is just swearing up a storm, realizing that he lost, the cider in the ear bit. The original cut.
The original cut.
It was just him nonstop profanity. It's a lot. It's in the super special secret director's cut.
I gotta get my hands on that.
Done by J.J. Abrams.
Oh, yeah, with lens flares.
Yeah.
And it was just nonstop profanity. I mean, in such a way that only Marlon Brando himself could really do justice. And
Oh, Marlon.
As a serious aside, I kind of wish that I could look as good in a suit as Marlon Brando does.
We
It
all
was
wish
distracting
that.
at times. I'd be watching the show, and then Marlon Brando would come in with his suit, and I'm like, God damn.
God damn it, Marlon Brando. Why be like that?
You son of a bitch, you're making us all look bad.
See, there's the foul language.
The guy can't sing, but damn does he look good in a suit.
Okay, about the singing thing. Listen, I imprinted early on this fucking musical, and I imprinted on Marlon Brando as Sky Masterson, and I legitimately cannot hear how he's bad. I can't hear it.
I didn't realize how bad a singer he was until I was watching it for this, and because it's been a long time since I've watched the movie, because usually I listen to the 1995 revival recording.
1995 revival.
It has Nathan Lane as Nathan Detroit.
That's
pretty
scans.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's almost as if he chose that name on purpose.
Almost. So I forgot how bad singer Marlon Brando was.
No!
And then I was watching this movie, for the first time in a while, and I was like, oh, baby, you're such a good actor.
Look, let a gentleman see.
Okay.
How nice a dame you can be.
When my love comes along.
That song isn't in the stage show, and it's too bad because I would love a good version of that song.
It's like we're smoking a
that
pack
one
a day
is.
here. It's
Sorry.
like, oh no, when my love comes along.
Wait, I said something wrong, and I have to immediately correct myself.
Oh, yeah.
That song is in the stage show. Your Eyes Are the Eyes of a Woman in Love wasn't in the stage show. It's a different song in this
Your
show.
eyes
should
are
be in
the
that.
eyes of a woman in love.
Okay.
But no, Marlon Brando, he can't sing, he can't dance, he's a real single threat.
But he looks so good in his suit and the hat.
So good.
And he can eye fuck. I'm sorry.
He can.
He can eye fuck.
Do you think that the Fedora Bros always imagined that they were trying to look like Marlon Brando, a la Guys and Dolls?
Oh, probably, yeah. That's assuming they watched Guys and Dolls.
I mean,
True.
they probably know the general aesthetic, because the general aesthetic is 1950s crime, but with dancing.
With dancing, hey, it's fun.
And therefore infinitely better.
Let's dance and do crime.
That's the only way I do crime now. I mean, not that I do.
Just so everyone knows, I was doing the West Side Story.
Here's the thing. I'm sad because I knew you were doing that.
But no,
I'm
I
just
got the-
saying, I want that on a button.
Which part?
Dance and do crime.
Hell
I mean,
yeah.
be gay, dance, and do crime. But I'm willing to bet the Fedora Bros who think that they're like Marlon Brando, one, don't realize that he was in Guys and Dolls.
And two,
And two,
don't know about that photo.
don't know about that photo, don't know that he probably slept with dudes. I'm not sure we have definitive evidence. What with everybody, not talking about it, because it wasn't the sort of thing you talked about.
Cause, homophobia.
Yeah. But no, to your point about imprinting on this, Marlon Brando as Sky Masterson, I still think of Marlon Brando, award-winning actor of The Godfather, Streetcar Named Desire, On the Waterfront. You'd say to Marlon Brando, I'm like, oh yeah, the guy from Guys and Dolls.
Listen. Yes.
So Guys and Dolls.
Guys and Dolls.
Again, this summary pulled from the internet already pretty much covered it, but Nathan Detroit is the runner of the oldest established floating crap game.
Permanent floating.
I knew I was missing a word. The oldest established permanent floating crap game in New York.
To which I did not know what the fuck that meant as a kid. No clue. I'm like, what the shit is... Crap is a bad word. Oh, maybe that's it!
That's probably the foul language.
I was reading the foul language.
I was reading it as the game.
Right?
And probably also all the 1950s slang that whizzed over our heads.
Well, there's also, I think they talk about, like, damnation and stuff, too.
Yeah.
And who knows, maybe in the 50s, Welcher was also, like a crime-laden word.
And a chump.
Ooh, yeah, you might be a chump. Oh,
that foul, chumpy language.
Also, just probably whatever Adelaide was singing.
Like just everything Adelaide sings.
Ooh, good times. So he needs a place to run his crap game, but the heat is on in New York.
Everybody knows that the heat is on.
Also, by the way, the beginning of the show when Lieutenant Brannigan of the New York City Police Department is questioning, Benny South Street and Nicely Johnson, about, where the fuck is Nathan? They play dumb.
Yes.
And it's a really nice way to get exposition across. Mm-hmm. They're like, you want to know about Nathan Detroit? Doesn't he run that? You think he runs a crap game? Isn't that illegal?
Well, as you know, it is.
And isn't the heat is on and you would arrest such a person who would run an illegal crap game? He's like, yeah, I would. I just thought that was a really good way to do exposition.
It is. And I mean, to be fair, even though we as children did not understand what the fuck a craps game was, and then like the sewer happens, so we're like, oh, it is about poop. Even though we didn't get that, we got enough from context from the exposition to understand this is an illegal thing.
These aren't good people.
Aww.
I mean, they're good people, but they are criminals.
Yes.
An important distinction.
Well, no, they're bad people too. I mean, come on, Harry the Horse and Big Julie.
I love Harry the Horse.
Yeah, but they're not good people. They were threatening to murder Nathan later on in the picture.
I'm talking about Nathan and Nicely, nicest in the name.
It's true.
Sky.
Who feels bad? Who feels bad about Adelaide?
Yeah, Adelaide was too smart for all of them. She could do better.
You know who Adelaide should have ended up with?
Sarah Brown.
Sister Sarah.
Hell yeah, because they have a song in the musical.
Which is cut out, and I think probably for the better.
Probably for the better, yes, because it's distractingly and distressingly catchy, and so incredibly gender wrong.
Yeah, I'm like, reverse sexism isn't a thing, but that song makes me go like, oh, don't give them the ammunition.
Marry the man today.
And
change his ways tomorrow. We all know that works.
It also sort of goes against the moral of the whole show.
Right?
Wasn't it like going, wait a moment, I can both be a hotshot gambler and be head over heels in love with the morals police?
The morals police. But yeah, so, this show. Nathan needs $1,000. Has everything. Nathan needs $1,000 in order to get a place to run his crap game because the guy who owns a garage wants $1,000 up front in order to risk,
Because I don't know if you know this, but the heat is on.
And everybody knows it.
Yeah.
Lieutenant Brannigan is breathing down everybody's necks.
Yeah.
So the Billmore garage wants $1,000.
But we
ain't got $1,000
in hand. By the way, this is actually one of the reasons why I like this musical as opposed to most other musicals. Because, and I know Pippin is going to squawk really loudly about this, to me, the music actually does provide information.
Some of
it. What musicals have you been fucking watching?
I don't, listen, it just annoys me.
Hot take here. I think that the Hotbox musical numbers don't really add to the story.
Okay, they don't. I will say that they do not. And you know what? That's the majority of musicals that I have watched I do not like for those reasons, because it's just bullshit songs. Whereas yes?
I don't have the words to explain to you how wrong you are.
For you see, the Hotbox numbers actually serve to reinforce
Yeah.
I'm not arguing for the Hotbox numbers.
Oh, too bad. You already did it.
No, I'm arguing for other musical numbers.
Nope.
Though, if we
Except
want
one, you gotta
to,
get them all. Gotta get, yep. You're taking them one or taking them all.
Fine, I fucking will.
Like,
Alex, may I jump into the defense of the hotbox numbers?
go ahead. I was going to be shooting blanks, but go ahead.
So, what, Take Back Your Mink does, is, well, the narrative of the song itself, doesn't really do anything for the plot as a whole. It underlines an emotional point of what men are willing to give women and what women are willing to take in this world that they've created. And it's sort of, again, the negotiation of feelings.
Also, really, he drives the point home that women are capable of possessing agency.
Agency.
I was like, okay, yeah, I'm not going to put out if you buy me expensive clothes, but also if I did, I cannot be judged for it. Because you know what? It's a really nice mink.
It is a really nice
And the
mink.
alley cat number?
The alley cat number isn't in the stage show. That one, in the stage show, it's a bushel and a peck. As in, I love you, a bushel and a peck.
A bushel and a pick and a hug around the neck.
About you. And it's about how much she loves, essentially Nathan.
Yeah. It's a devotional.
Yeah, it's a devotional.
Nathan's kind of a dick.
He kind of is.
You don't spend 14 years in gay age without being a bit of a dick.
Well, I mean, he had no intention of marrying her. That's the thing. None.
Here's the thing. I think he did. Because I think he actually I think he did love her. Because you know what? You need to look at the look on his face when he explains the letter she wrote to her mom about the lies she's been telling her mother all these years. Because she's written to her mother that they got married, 14 years ago.
Yeah.
And by now they have kids.
Five of them.
5. And at first he's kind of confused, but also you see this look of just how utterly charmed he is that she did this. He just smiles up at her and he's like, you did what?
To be fair, yeah, I mean, it's a dumbass thing that she's done, and he's just like, that is adorable.
Yeah.
I think they actually really do like each other. I have no clue what the fuck they talk about if that never came up in 14 years. But they clearly like each other.
And, there are some couples out there for whom marriage is not the answer. And, nowadays we can say, yeah, that's legit, but, it's also 1950s, so.
Yeah. Well, wait a second. We're getting ahead of ourselves.
Yep.
Yep.
I tried to steer it back a couple of times, but you guys really wanted to fight me about musicals.
Well, it's because they deserve to be fought. Go on.
We'll have a whole mini-sode of just you and me fighting about musicals, it'll be fine.
Hell yeah. I'll make you watch Carousel, and you'll make me watch something, and then we'll just decide who wins.
Why do you
Don't bring Carousel into this? Too bad.
Carousel.
Too bad.
Anyway.
Back on track.
So.
They realize that Sky's in town.
Sky Masterson is a high roller. It's why his name is Sky.
But not just that. He's not just a high roller. He's a weird roller.
Yep.
He once bet that one raindrop would be another raindrop down the window. He once bet...
that he would have a higher fever.
Yeah, he did. He refused to take penicillin because he bet his fever would jump to 102. He got lucky. It went to 105. Which I think is when you die, but whatever.
His brain got cooked, which explains so much of the plot.
So Nathan Detroit comes up with the brilliant idea of like, I will bet Sky, $1,000 on something.
$1,000, not $1,000.
So he bets $1,000, on something and then he'll get the money, it'll be fine. Except Nathan Detroit has no luck. And
also,
Sky Masterson.
Sky is not an idiot.
He recognizes a setup when he sees one, because originally Nathan was going to bet whether the restaurant they were in sold more cheesecake or soup the day before, and he sent Nicely and Benny South Street to go ask. And so Sky was all like, I'm not gonna take that bet, but I'll bet you $1,000 that if you can name the color of your tie you're wearing, and then covers it up. And Nathan's all like, no bet.
I love how Nathan Detroit is not in and of himself a gambler, because he's lousy at it. Like, he is astonishingly bad at bets. The way he tries to steer Sky into that bet is a child could have seen that coming.
Distressingly obvious.
Yep.
Right?
And meanwhile, Sky is just like, now let me tell you about my opinions about women.
Yeah, oh
dear.
God.
It's bad.
One
it's real
doll
bad.
is the same as any doll.
You name her. I can get together with any doll.
They're good for a day and then you're done. And I'm like, Sky, I want to like you.
Listen, he's clearly had his heart busted at least once.
Probably multiple times.
And he's at the start of his character arc.
True. It's possible that he's attracted a certain type of person.
A certain type of dame.
I was saying person to bring all genders into this, because really Nathan's not much better.
That's true. That's a very good point. But
Nathan hops on this and is like, oh, any girl? You bet you
You're
can...
going to Havana tomorrow, right?
Yes. Why do you bring this up now?
I bet you cannot take a girl of my choosing to Havana tomorrow. And Sky,
who did not listen to his daddy.
And also being kind of a sexist prick.
I was going to say in a rampant bit of sexism.
Yep.
Goes like, yeah, I'll take that bet. And Nathan Detroit, being very smug about it, is all like, all right, Sergeant Sarah Brown.
All right, I'm going to take a pause here. All right, Sergeant Sarah Brown belongs to the Salvation Army.
No,
Patooey.
Wait,
It's not named, though.
No.
They never
okay.
named the Salvation Army.
Well,
It's the Save Us All mission.
Okay. And what I like about this is, first of all, I don't know if this is the first instance of the was I a fucking bet kind of storyline. But one, let us give thanks to our forebears, i.e. Guys and Dolls, that let us have, in the future, things like She's All That and 10 Things I Hate About You, and other bet classics.
I do like the fact that in Guys and Dolls, when the bet reveal happens, Sergeant Sarah Brown doesn't really care.
Well, here's the thing. He told her. He's like, this is, but the thing is that there was an aspect that she thought that she did not know, that he had kept from her, which, I mean, I think that's a really great bet turnaround. But also, I wanted to say that in a lot of in the problem with She's All That and similar films of that type, the idea is, oh, this is an awkward, ugly person or whatever. And it's like, whoops, no, add some mascara and take off her glasses and she's gorgeous. This one, the problem is, no, Sarah Brown's actually quite lovely, but she's got religion. So it's a moral and social issue, between them, which is much more, in my opinion,
Interesting.
yeah, it's a solider reason for them to be mismatches. More solid reason. Solider. Jeez.
I will say that, except for the times when Sky forcibly kisses her, which isn't cool.
And next her for 10 minutes straight.
I was going to say their interactions are have a sort of sparring nature, and I'm always down for that.
This Isaiah, not Proverbs.
Yeah.
But also, I do appreciate that she fucking whacks him one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I like how consistently throughout the film she has an amazing right hook.
Sergeant Sarah Brown is ready to throw hands.
But like, that right hook appears more than once.
So Nathan bets that he cannot get him to take her to Havana. He goes to see her at the mission, which is doing poorly. No one ever comes in to, confess.
Well, because New York, as we all know, is a den of sin.
Yeah. You've never seen a more wretched hive of scum and villainy. And he goes in and charms brother Arvid, who knows more than he lets on.
Mm-hmm.
But also, brother Arvid, or whatever the hell his name is also from New York. He understands the biz, whereas Sarah Brown is from Boston.
Which apparently has no sin.
We're not all from Boston, John.
Should have saw a gold watch bend.
So he charmed brother Arvid. He flirts with Sergeant Sarah Brown. One thing leads to another, and he bets her.
Well, not bets. They
doesn't
negotiate.
Bet. Yeah, it's like, if you go to dinner with me tonight, I think at that point he wasn't mentioning the Havana part.
Yeah, he was intentionally vague.
Then, for your big midnight prayer meeting, on
2 nights.
Thursday.
Yeah.
In 2 nights, I will guarantee you at least a dozen genuine sinners, because he has a wide circle of friends.
Yeah, but also he does not at this point have a plan for getting them there. Because this is Sky Masterson. He makes stupid bets. So he's like, I'll figure out a way to get them there.
Yeah.
But I know enough people that I could theoretically make this happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, go on, Pep.
And Sergeant Sarah Brown, agrees to this.
After
After learning that the mission's gonna get closed.
Yes. by one of her higher-ups because, no one's going. And Sky's all like, hi, I'm Brother Sky. I'm a former sinner, and I would like to help Sarah. Sister Sarah. And at that point, she's all like, yeah. And this is where Take Back Your Mink comes in. Because what are you willing to do for what?
Wait, no, that's the one he comes back from Havana.
Well, I think Pippin's saying that it's, the general mise-en-scène.
Don't use terms you don't understand.
Fuck off! It's the general themes.
And at this point, they fly to Havana, Cuba, and that's
which you could do back then.
Oh yeah, but as Pip, I think you were alluding to earlier in the episode, just that really awkward 4 or 5 hour flight from New York to Havana.
Like, what the shit did they talk about?
Probably like Bible verses.
Bible verses. They actually, when they're talking, they do talk.
Yeah.
That's true.
I mean,
it's lovely.
They get along really great.
And,
they do, actually.
Where did Sergeant Sarah Brown get her Havana, Cuba tour guide book? I mean, that...
He bought it for her.
Of course.
But then he spends a lot of time being bored by the fact that she's like, you got me, I'm gonna use this.
Oh no, my clever plan backfired.
Let's talk about architecture, motherfucker.
And other dialogue Sarah definitely has.
And then he's going to use that information about architecture to win a bet later. It'll work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they go off to Havana. Nathan, Detroit, and Adelaide have their relationship stuff.
As we already mentioned, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Nathan and Adelaide are actually pretty solid. Adelaide dumps him like twice in the movie, but that's because he's a fuck-up who missed their wedding twice.
Oops.
So they go to Havana. Sarah Brown gets drunk.
And Sky suddenly realizes, oh wait, I just basically drugged this woman. I am not comfortable with this. She's good
no,
people.
I like her as a person.
What's this feeling I'm having? Is this a conscience?
Oh shit!
No, I don't like it.
Remorse?
I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
Daddy, I got remorse in my ear.
Oh god, I think this woman is a person.
Oh no.
Not a person.
Basic empathy? What?
What?
Ew. I hear that you can get a rash from that.
Indeed.
Listen, all I'm saying is he got religion. I mean, in a Sarah-shaped form, but whatever. So...
I will say it takes him some time to get the remorse and guilt after he has gotten her extremely drunk and they've been in a bar fight.
To be fair, he started liking her genuinely in there. And I was thinking she was an adorable drunk, I think. And
she is an adorable drunk, to be completely fair.
And then, like, just before they actually got dinner, I think it's what sort of the turning point of like, oh no, let's get you some food.
I have made a terrible mistake.
Happening
well,
here.
didn't she kiss him, before dinner?
Yes.
But after being totally drunk.
And he's like,
I think that maybe we need to feed you now.
They have dinner, they get into a bar fight.
The bar fight's so great. Because again, she's taken on everybody. Dudes, women, right hook central.
He also was trying to just look, Marlon Brando's face journeys throughout this movie.
That's true. He's so good at the face journey.
She's chucking coconuts. She's chucking chairs.
She's hardcore. She's a sergeant.
She is not done fighting. He has to drag her out of there. It's amazing. 'Cause the cops come.
Fucking cops, man. They go, she sobers up a bit. He confesses, that it was a bet.
And she's like,
it was a fucking bet.
And she's like, what?
This is my shocked face.
Shock me.
It's like, oh, really? Suddenly this high-rolling gambler wants to take me, a lady from a mission, to fucking Havana and get her drunk. And you're saying it wasn't for a bet. Wait, you're saying it was for a bet. You
know what you are, my dear? A chump.
Yeah.
They go back to New York. They have a very lovely moment. Mm-hmm. Genuinely, that scene of them walking down the streets.
Oh, is so sweet.
It is.
With my time of days, the nighttime, which leads into
the dawn.
Either your eyes are the eyes of a woman in love, or I've never been in love before, depending on what you're watching or listening to.
Also, like the thing where he stops her, like, wait, listen, footsteps. this is the hour when you can hear footsteps on Broadway. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, that whole bit makes a whole fucking movie for me.
Yeah.
Indeed.
And at this point, she's sober enough to give consent.
True.
Yep. And he's feeling awkward. She's like, do you want to come in for coffee? And he's like, I feel like maybe you're a girl that I should not go in for coffee for, but we could go out for lunch and have some milkshakes.
It's like, oh no, we're both sober and like each other as people.
And then all of a sudden they get hit by the A plot or B plot, depending on your perspective.
Depending on which plot you view this one.
Yeah.
And it turns out there's sirens, nicely wakes up, runs into the mission, goes, guys, scram, it's the cops. And it turns out that Nathan Detroit has run his crap game.
In the mission.
Dun dun dun.
Because Nathan Detroit is a dick.
Well, Nathan Detroit also saw an opportunity.
And Nathan Detroit has a guy with a gun who really wants to shoot crap.
That's true.
Yeah.
Breathing down his neck.
And so everybody runs, and at that point Sarah goes like, did you win all of the bet? Oh. And he's all like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
I explicitly had that change of heart earlier, thank you very much.
But also, I appreciate that, like, because I had forgotten exactly how that argument went. And I appreciate that he is just as pissed off at her. And you can really see the way the two of them express anger differently, because he just goes cold, and she goes hot.
It's why they work well together.
But she goes hot, and they both rip each other. Well, she rips him to shreds, and he just backs up, and he's like, are you telling me that you genuinely believe this? You just say that. Just tell me that you think I would actually do that after all of this. And she's like, yes, because she wants to hurt him.
You're a gambler. What the fuck do I know?
Right? And this is teach me a lesson. Now I know. And he's like, yeah, we've all learned lessons, haven't we?
And she storms to the mission and locks the door behind her.
Yeah, she does.
The mission door, which has never been locked this whole time, which is part of why Nathan Detroit was able to get in.
Which is, I mean, also Skye was able to just randomly lurk in the kitchen that one time.
Listen, he was taking a nap. And so, everybody's falling apart.
At this point, I think Nathan and Adelaide shortly break up after this because he's running the craps game again.
What happens is that he promised to marry her again.
To elope.
This time by having an entire, all of his gambling, but he's have a fake bachelor party for him in front of the lieutenant, who's like, you can elope.
You can go to Maryland, you don't need a blood test there.
And Nathan Detroit's like, what?
I was not prepared for this.
Stop helping.
So they agreed to get married the next day, which is, the day after the Havana thing.
As I said, I just love that Lieutenant Brannigan is on board for this.
Lieutenant Brannigan loves love.
Love is love.
So they arranged that after the opening of the new Hotbox show, they'll get married. It'll be great. So Skye goes to find Nathan at the Hotbox.
But finds Nicely instead.
Who is there to give Adelaide a message. And he really wishes that people would leave their own messages because he has to tell Adelaide that Nathan is not going to make it. And Skye's all like, I'll tell her. I'm great with women.
I have no issues with women whatsoever, and I'm not looking for any kind of escape valve.
I also totally understand this whole situation and was involved in the planning of it. I get what's going on here. So he goes and gets Adelaide really mad, and leaves without really helping. And nicely takes him to the new crap game.
You've never been in love with someone you shouldn't. And like, oh.
Yeah, must suck.
Yeah.
Wouldn't know about it.
Yeah.
Nope, I am completely...
Oh no.
Here's the thing, what I love so much, again, is that Skye, I think that he must have been burned at some point in the past. Because it takes so little for him to be just all in on Sarah Brown. Like, all in. Whereas Sarah is, I feel like she's less all in. It takes time for her to, there's no precipitous drop for her into love territory. It's just, it's a nice climb. Whereas he's like, I don't like girls. Girls are awful. She's amazing.
Oh, yeah. Well, Sarah's had years of, shaking off men, and who've tried every trick in the book to get with her, including
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Skye is not her first rodeo.
Yeah.
That's...
Although, to be fair, I mean, Havana, Cuba, that's a good play.
That was a great play.
Yeah.
Like, she acknowledges that she does have an attraction to bad boys.
She does.
She read the book about it.
She read a whole book about it.
She read 2.
I bet her and Adelaide get along together in the epilogue.
There's that song.
Yeah.
I mean, they have a duet at the end. Not in the movie, in this show.
Which is probably for the best.
Yeah.
No, they share psychology books with each other. It's great.
Oh my god, yeah. And Sky and Nathan stand on the side and go like,
This is bad.
they're not
What have
using
we
our
done?
names, but are they talking about us?
Oh, shit. Adelaide goes and gets her degree in psychology after the movie.
Yes. Aww. Yes, I would legitimately love that. So, Nicely takes Sky down to the new crap game, because it's still going, because Big Julie from Chicago is, shock me, a bad loser. So, there's a bunch of gambling that isn't really important. Big Julie's a murderous asshole. At the end of the day, Nathan Detroit's got the gun in his hand. Which makes it all sound much more exciting than what actually happened.
Well,
Yeah.
Let's like say here the Big Julie who tried a asshole kind of maneuver of and even you're rolling me now. Oh, even though you're the proprietor of the game, you don't actually play, but I've got the gun, and also we're going to be using my dice, which are blank, but I remember the spots.
wink, wink.
But you can't argue with the man with the gun.
Although Sky does, because Sky is amazing.
Well, because Sky just had a very simple bet. Am I right-handed or am I left-handed?
How am I supposed to know that?
I will give you a hint. Punch, punch. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And that's how Nathan ends up with the gun. Nathan Detroit, who then looks fascinated by the fact that he has the gun. He's all like, oh.
It's like, wait, he looks kind of uncomfortable with it too, but like he ain't giving it up. It's like, I have the gun? I have the gun.
Looks at a gun as if he's never held one before, and he probably hasn't.
Apparently has not.
Then Sky asks everybody, hey, would you be willing to go to this prayer meeting? Everybody says no.
Everybody basically tells him to do the 1950s equivalent of fucking off.
And he's about to.
But then Sky decides to tell them to find out.
He makes good on his bet with Nathan because he didn't truly take her to Havana. He coerced a woman onto a plane and got her drunk in Cuba. No, that's not taking a woman to Havana.
Not a classy thing, yeah.
Yeah, so he tells Nathan that, Nathan won the bet, here's $1,000. Nathan goes, oh, okay, now they have, cash again, I'm gonna roll Big Julie with my dice. And Harry the horse, says, oh, with,
honest dice.
Normal dice, honest dice, Big Julie cannot make it past to save his soul. And this guy Masters is all like, what's that, you say?
Say that again, one more time, for the, writers in the audience.
Make it past to save yours. You know what? I bet I can make it past to save your soul. And yours, and yours, and yours. Give me the dice. I'm gonna make a bet.
Let's go for the iconic musical number of the play. Ah!
Everybody's heard this song. So he does Luck Be a Lady.
Yes.
Which is such a great song.
It's a great song. I will say one of my favorite shots is Sky Masterson in that the bigger tube in the background. When he sort of poses up there with the dice in his hand.
Yep.
That's a great shot.
It is a great shot. But also, like, it's such an iconic song for the character because it's that thing where he's like all in. He's like, this has to fucking work. If this doesn't work, then my life is over. I'm like, how many times has this happened to you, sweetie?
Gambling's an addiction and you need help.
Sarah will work on that with him in the after story.
Yeah.
Yes.
And like the backup chorals, like it's all kind of like, ooh, this sounds like that like background and chanting you hear in church music. Like,
Well, I mean, that's a lot of what you hear that in the oldest established. That one. That's also choral.
Are there religious themes in this movie?
Weird.
What?
I will say that Luck Be a Lady actually says a lot about Sky and women, because he views luck as a woman, and luck is likely to leave you. Comes into the door with you, but might leave with somebody else. Luck, I just need this one more thing from you. And then I got another girl.
A lady wouldn't make little snake eyes at me.
Snake eyes!
When I bet my life on this roll.
So Sky has bet every single person there $1,000 each.
And he goes with cash.
Yeah, apparently he just had that on him.
Had like 50,000 in cash right then.
In the 50s.
Wow.
And if they win, they get $1,000 each. If he wins, they have to attend this prayer meeting. Smash cut to them saying, I don't want to go to the prayer meeting.
But Big Julie, you gave your marker.
Which we have established multiple times throughout the film that the marker is like the only thing that any of them will honor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Because it's honor. Because it is honor.
Because you don't honor it, no one's going to play you because you're a vulture.
Yep.
It's a welcher.
Yeah.
That's all those other swear words.
Yeah.
I bet.
Yeah.
I just now realized that the movie makes a really big leap. Because the last time we see Adelaide before the very, very end, is her and Nathan having a big fight. Because
Effectively
again,
being done.
yeah, because again, he did not show up for their wedding. And she's all like, well, we're both here in this restaurant now, let's do it now. He's like, I gotta go to our prayer meeting. And she's like, that's the biggest lie you've ever fucking told me. And they have a big fight, and he leaves before it gets resolved. And, spoiler alert for, the next chunk of movie, which is basically like another
The last
song.
10 minutes.
Yeah. We cut to them getting married. I'm like, I just now realized that there was a resolution there we missed.
That was probably something that got solved in Marry the Man Today.
Maybe.
Oh, it is actually.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Yeah.
Ha.
Listen, I'm not saying that Marry the Man Today doesn't make a lot of sense in the show, but it is...
It's such a problematic song, but it's so
really
catchy. And that's part of why I think it's important that it be cut. Because it's such a good song.
You can update it.
So they go to the prayer meeting. Sky says, hey, I can't stick around for it. Nathan, you've got the markers. Give them back when everybody's good and confessed and been good. And people do some confessing, which is basically, before I came here, I wish I didn't have to come. Now that I'm here, still wish I didn't have to come. Which, is honest.
That's a valid confession.
Nicely, it does sit down, you're rocking the boat.
One of the best songs.
Great number.
Nicely actually has like an experience.
Come to Jesus. Yeah.
Nicely actually finds religion.
Yeah. Good for him.
Good for him.
Where he realizes that he's in this situation, like he's being asked to be he has to do Nathan's dirty work and disappoint a good woman. Well, a woman. And, stuff like that.
Good.
But anyway.
A great song. Everyone should listen to it. And Nathan does his quick confession. Directly to Sarah's like, they also admit that they did play craps in the mission. And to Sarah, he's all like, and I bet another gentleman that he could not take a lady to Havana with him for dinner. And for this I am sorry, but not too sorry because I won the bet. And she's like, you won the bet? He's like, yeah.
Yeah, he said.
He said I won the bet. So, no harm, no foul, right? And she's like, excuse me, I need to go right now.
I'm such a huge fan of the excuse me, I have to leave immediately.
Smash cut to the end of the movie with a double wedding in the streets of New York.
Which, impressive, I imagine, even for 1955.
Yeah. And Nathan still trying to run off.
He was used to a certain manner of living.
Nathan, overall, probably just afraid of commitment.
Oh, that's why the crap game is floating.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Thematic.
What?
But it's established.
And so is he.
Well, they're
in Adelaide.
engaged. Yeah.
But he also does not make bets because that's another form of commitment.
And love is the ultimate bet, you guys.
Oh.
Aww.
I could write essays about this show. And they get married, and it's a great show.
It's a great show.
So, even though it's a great show, would anybody change things? That's right, I'm pivoting right to the
Okay, but
workshopping.
okay, but what if?
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
if?
Yeah.
What if?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
if the nice missionary is Sky Masterson and the wicked gambler is Sarah Brown?
Oh my god.
And she comes in going like, hey, what up? Do you want to come to Havana with me?
Wow, she would be very no good for the 1950s.
Yeah.
Right?
She's what the Hays Codes were all for.
She's what the Hays Code warns us about.
Oh my god, and okay, I'm having a moment.
Is she like the one picking gold watches from people as well?
Oh yeah, she is. Though I'm not sure Sky ever actually pickpocketed anybody. I'm sure he could if he wanted to.
Well, there were
do that.
ladies in the opening bit that did that.
No, I'm just saying she's like she might not, I changed my mind. She's wearing a suit. She's got her own fedora and she makes these wild bets. She's basically Sky Masterson. But
I will say, historically, that would be a different kind of person who may not be interested in Sky Masterson, Pippin.
Bi people exist.
Bi people exist. I'm just saying that, maybe Sky needs to be happening up in Harlem. Not in Manhattan.
I'm saying all sorts of people existed.
So you're saying that guys are interchangeable. Yeah, just show them a teddy and they'll follow you forever.
Oh my god. I mean, you're not wrong, but my god.
Sarah could make this argument and use Nathan against himself. And in fact, the entire song, Guys and Dolls, exists.
That's true.
Tell me, how long have you been with this Adelaide? 14 years? And you are not yet married? No, but yet you are still with her. Yeah. So therefore you are still being dragged along by her and all that.
Or she's an unmarried woman of 14 years. Why can I not be an unmarried woman at my age?
Ooh, I like that.
The only difference being she has you and I could do better.
Here's the thing. I like your idea. I would like to actually make it a little bit more historically interesting by, again, shifting it to the the queer areas of New York. And the mission is specifically there trying to take in the wandering lost lesbians who are going from bar to bar, dressed up as fellows. And Sky is trying desperately to be like, no, you don't have to love women. She's like, I could love a lot of people, Sky.
Would you like to have dinner with me? That way I don't have dinner with a woman. I mean, if you want to look at it like that.
And it would be a lot of fun. And she and Adelaide are exes who are still friends.
Yes! Ooh, I like that.
Right? And then Adelaide, and then so the Kit Kat Club or whatever it is a queer club.
Fair enough, I do like that.
Right? See, there it is. So you can get that whole vibe in there, and it explains why she's running around in a suit.
I mean, it could be a skirt suit. I don't know.
Yeah, but it would be hotter if it was a full-on suit. Let's just be honest.
that's very true.
Right?
That is true. And
then, and of course, it's a troublesome area of New York, and it's like, and then you can get into all sorts of things about, is it appropriate to, what is sin, what are sinners, etc. It would be a great argument to be having, because they have that argument in the film.
And what is love? Baby, don't hurt me.
What is love? What kinds of love are there? Oh, actually, now I really want this. Can we do a redo? Can we do a remake of this?
Here's the thing. I would legit love a remake of Guys and Dolls.
I want my queer version of Guys and Dolls remade. Kristen Stewart plays Sarah Brown.
Ooh.
Right?
Yeah.
Can she sing that?
Does she need to?
Marlon Brando could.
Fair enough.
Alternately, who can sing and would also look great in a suit is, who's the SNL lady?
Kristen Wiig?
Nope.
No. Yeah, I know who you're talking.
She played Holtzman in Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Kate McKinnon?
Yeah.
Kate McKinnon. Kate McKinnon would be an amazing Sky Masterson.
I have to see it. I feel like her energy feels off to me for it.
Oh my god, she would be a Nathan Detroit.
Ooh.
She would be a Nathan Detroit.
She's a Nathan Detroit. I still think Case do. She probably, I don't know if she can sing, but she would be a great Sky Masterson. Those eyes.
Anna Kendrick can sing.
Oh.
See, now I'm on board here.
Kate Denning would be a great Adelaide.
I want this so bad.
So listeners, what's going right now is Kat has a first.
First of all, yes. I'll say it. Goddamn. I'd like to jump in. First of all, I would like to thank Guys and Dolls for providing us the blueprint for any scene where somebody gets, more drunk than they anticipated, and then the person who's not supposed to be caring about them finds themselves caring about them more. Because
you're a person.
Yeah, because we see that in 10 Things I Hate About You as well. Where it's like a 1-to-1. It's amazing.
Is Guys and Dolls just a weird version of The Taming of the Shrew?
Write that essay!
No.
It uses a lot of narrative tropes established by Shakespeare and creates a few more narrative tropes that have been in rom-coms ever since.
Here's my thing. As you know, whenever there's a good story, I like to see what I can steal from it. And for me, the level of shenaniganeering in this, what I appreciate is that usually it's a situation like in Shakespeare where all the shenaniganing has to happen in the beginning, and then we see the characters sort of follow through from that. This movie, I feel, has continuous shenanigans, which is in the nature of the story. Everybody's making bets to do this, to do that, and the shenanigans become in and of themselves the plot, as opposed to just a tool of the plot. And I'm not sure how to accomplish that. Except maybe in French farces, where like suddenly there's, more people are sleeping with other people and then dead bodies and so on. And which door is it? And so on. So there's something going on here that I like a lot that I would like to learn because I'm a big shenanigan fan. So one of the things I would like to take from this is the multi-level shenanigan. The ones that, or not multi-level, where shenanigans are the plot as opposed to tools of the plot. That's what I'd like to take from this. How would I use it? Honestly, probably romantic comedies. I like romances, and I think that there need to be more shenanigans in them. It would be really great. Actually, what this reminds me of? This reminds me of Louise McMaster Bujould's A Civil Campaign, which is a romantic farce in space. Which uses, like, just one damn thing after another, but in shenanigan terms. And that, I think, while the DNA is not entirely there for this movie, I think that that's a similar thing that I could learn from. I'm not really making a lot of sense here. Nope. I like good movies. It's hard to talk about them.
Side note, Guys and Dolls in Space.
Guys and Dolls in Space. Maybe that's what I mean. Yeah, I'll steal that.
Alright, that was Kat.
Yeah.
Not having anything because she likes a musical too much.
Well,
Fran,
and also, I'm still distracted by just lesbians.
No,
so,
you like the musical.
All right,
damn it.
So here is what I'm here for. We talked about this earlier about trying to do some remakes. I want to try and bring this kicking and screaming to the modern day. How do we do that? That's what I'm curious about. Like, some bigwig Hollywood producers like, hey, Brendan, make me a script with Guys and Dolls, but modern day. What do you do? And I'm like, sure, I like money. Let's do this. And yeah, so I'm just trying to think about like certain things that I'd probably alter to, I guess, modernize it a little bit. That's why I did like a couple of digs on the hot box theater and all that. Cause I don't know, it's just like a distractor. Like if you can make it a bit more explicitly tied to like songs that are just like, this is literally just a metaphor for Adelaide and Nathan's relationship. Cool. Let's just make it obvious. That's one thing. But anyway, we don't need to have a huge number about it is all I'm saying.
I will say that there is a trope in movie musicals to make what was a just, song in the show that the characters just sang because that's how musical works. And in the movie, make them, cabaret numbers. You see that in Chicago and you see that in Cabaret.
Wait, a cabaret and cabaret seems fake.
And they sing the song Cabaret, if you believe it or not.
What?
So basically, I want to, tweak that around somehow. Just make everything flow a little better. Like, cause it seems like, for good or ill, like the screenplay for Guys and Dolls or the play, whatever, is very much a set of acts and it feels like that. And I don't necessarily like that, like I want to have it flow one part to the next, and then we have like the false high in Havana, and then everything is like falling apart for, rolling into act 3. It's great. And then we have the Luck Be a Lady climax. That is where everything is coming together. And then we get the nice roll into the denouement of the I don't even know if it'd be in the mission still in a modern day retelling. Quick help. What do we do for that? Because I don't want to be doing like a mission. That seems weird.
Or a temperance league or whatever, because I'm like, no, actually temperance is great. So let's not, bash them.
Just a general support group.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Gambling Anonymous or something.
Yeah, but Gambling Anonymous is actually important.
What do you mean?
At no point is anyone saying that what the mission is doing isn't important.
I feel like...
At no point does the movie bash that.
Really?
They're just saying
I feel like they make fun of it a lot.
They're saying it's ineffectual. because they're in New York.
That particular branch.
Oh, okay. So, all right. I could see, like, if this was a not particularly doing well support group type thing. They've got tons of donuts and nobody there.
The office space that they're renting out, is, raising the rent, and they're going to be kicked out, and they don't really have any kind of space to go because they have no people to help the grants, actually keep their funding going. So the grant is being pulled, that kind of thing. Cause, support networks are A-okay in my book. It's just weird religious connotations are kind of, no-go for me. So yeah, it's some sort of like support network group, the do-gooders or something, just to be really vague for general plotting purposes here. So yeah, that's one thing I'd do there. I just want to play with it in the modern day is all. You can still have the gambling aspect because, I imagine high stakes gambling in hidden places in New York City is probably still frowned on, I think.
To be fair, I'm going to be real with y'all. I don't know what parts of gambling is illegal and which parts aren't.
Operating an unofficial casino, probably not okay. You gotta go to Jersey for that, because everything is legal in Jersey.
Because there is horse racing that has, like, legitimate papers and stuff. We see them being bought on the streets in the beginning of the show. But betting on them is frowned upon?
I don't understand them. Why have the races? I don't get it. I don't.
You watch them and it's entertaining.
Is it?
I don't know.
Is it though?
But I think these days you can bet on, I don't know. And I think that means I'm a straight edge and I don't like it. I want to be hardcore. I want to be a badass.
Well, they could be Hicks and bet on, NASCAR. I got the car right here. His name is, alright, basically, I just want to still have it be set in New York, but like, now we can have more modern day New York. And do we not have the sound of footsteps in modern New York? I don't know.
I haven't been, on the streets of New York, at 3 a.m. in a while.
In certain parts of New York at 3 a.m., yes, you can hear your own footsteps.
But on Broadway is the question.
Well, yeah, not Broadway, I'm sorry.
Well, during...
yeah, I was going to say that's...
Well,
but actually, no.
In recent months, maybe.
Oh,
God.
Thanks, Backstreet Boys. But no. This is where you can kind of take that message, and because we're doing a remake, we can play with themes and put them on their heads. Instead, we have Sky's character kind of saying like, hey, this is the city that never sleeps. Literally, it's still alive even in the night. I'm in the night. I'm a vampire. There
Vampire.
we go.
It was obvious all along.
It always was, Alex. It always was.
But Sky, I've seen you outside at night. But Sarah Brown, we've been on a soundstage this entire time.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, so that's all my thing for changes is take it to the modern day, reduce the hotbox numbers, and I don't know, celebrate the fact that New York never fully sleeps.
So my thing had a bit of a rough start. Had to cut out my original one because I realized that it's better suited for a game. But my thing, you know how this show ends in a wedding?
Uh-huh.
Yes.
And you know that adage about comedies and tragedies.
Uh-huh.
So, gonna say that Sky got to the game in the sewer just a minute too late. And Nathan is lying there or dead, shot by Big Julie.
No.
This is because I said all my favorite musicals have a body count, huh?
Yeah, yes, that's one inspiration, yes.
Rude. Oh, no. Yeah, no, that's legit.
That resolves the Adelaide bit there. Oh, poor Adelaide.
The moral changes real fast.
Yeah, so Nicely is gonna have to
have that on his soul.
Have her bad news to give.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Wait, does Sky avenge Nathan's death?
Well, they didn't know each other that well.
Well, the right-handed or left-handed bit is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
And he knew Nathan well enough to ask after Adelaide in the beginning.
True.
It's true.
Like, Nathan, he was a good man, and Julie, not a good man, but a decent man. Not a decent man.
He was going to get married tonight.
He was a man.
And in my story, was he?
Like, does Sky still have the wherewithal to sing Luck Be a Lady, or does the whole entire fact that...
It becomes a more of a dirge.
Yeah, oh yeah. Like, I have to save all these souls, even Julie's. He's like,
Maybe especially Julie's.
Like, you all go to the Save the Soul mission. Except for you, Big Julie. If I would, and you return yourself into the cops, because goddamn.
Well, no, he can say you're going to save us all mission, and maybe he happens to know that Lieutenant Brannigan's going to show up that night.
That's what I was about to say. I think Brannigan, though he outwardly has this disdain for Nathan Detroit, he wanted to have Nathan go legit, and just seeing him dead, yeah, Brannigan's sad. It's like having a frenemy.
He was going to get married that night, and Miss Adelaide's going to be sad.
Oh.
So instead of ending in a wedding, it ends in a funeral.
Yeah. Also, brief aside, do you think it's kind of weird that Brannigan is the one to give Adelaide away? You're like, what is your relationship with these people, Brannigan?
I mean, listen, there are only so many people in the show.
True.
So yeah, a small change. Yeah.
But a mighty one.
Oh,
yeah.
Makes me sad for Nathan Detroit there.
But listen, sometimes musicals be like that. They switch at the drop of a hat.
Oh, Nathan's hat. Death was the one thing he could commit to. Oh.
So yeah, that's it for me.
Cool.
Fair.
Well, we had talked about this earlier in the show, and this is the reason why Al had to suddenly change and pivot to a new idea. I think the game we should play tonight is the character that would be king, where we just find some side character and we talk about what story would feature them as the main character.
Because, let's be real, there are a lot of people there's plenty of characters in the show who have fantastic names.
Mm-hmm.
Al, did you have anyone in particular in mind? Because I have someone.
So do I. Pippin, I'll take you down.
I'm going with Big Julie.
Nice.
Okay, you can have Big Julie.
Yep.
Do you want to go into it?
Yes, I will. Yes, sir, I will. So, Big Julie, he came to New York for vacation to shoot crap. And boy, did he shoot crap. He shot crap all night long and into the next day in the sewers.
Where one could argue crap belongs.
Indeed. And when he ran out of money, he threatened to shoot the proprietor, to start rolling himself, and rolled with his clearly gimmicked dice. So,
A dangerous precedent.
indeed. And so what I'm saying is for when Big Julie returns to Chicago, and the news of his exploits have returned ahead of him, and the dawn of whichever mafia gang Big Julie is a part of, because he's obviously part of the mob, would like to have some words with Big Julie.
I hear you went to a prayer meeting.
Well, you better be praying now, Big Julie.
Ooh.
And now Big Julie, don't get me wrong. I am a religious man. You have personally attended the baptism of my son, for which I am grateful. But Big Julie, you have these past few days given a poor reputation of people from Chicago.
Is this mob boss played by the older Marlon Brando?
Yeah, it is.
Probably, I don't know. But basically what I'm saying is that Big Julie, he did not impress the mob boss with his rude behavior.
So what does the mob boss make Julie do as part of the new story?
That's a good question. I was just I give him a pair of cement shoes, but...
Oh my god, that's like the end of the story.
Yeah, but let's say he has to make amends. And you now owe Nathan Detroit 3 favors of his choosing.
Nathan will blow him so bad.
Well, here's the thing. Wouldn't it be funny if he didn't actually tell Nathan that he owes favors? So he just keeps trying to do favors for Nathan. And Nathan's like, why are you still talking to me?
Why are you in here? Why aren't you in Chicago?
Please go away.
Would it be a favor to you for me to go back to Chicago? I mean...
No.
I don't want to owe you anything, because he thinks that if he...
Yeah.
That'd be a pretty funny farce,
Yeah.
to be honest. If now you owe Nathan 3 favors, and you can't come back to Chicago until you have done this. And then just the farce of watching Big Julie try to do this.
Yeah.
Without at the same time losing his cool.
Yeah. And everyone else in New York is well aware.
Are they?
Well, I don't know, maybe it's a horse spreading their word, but somehow it has not gotten to Nathan. Because that would also be.
All I know is no matter whether Nathan knows or not, he still manages to fuck it up. Because he's Nathan Detroit.
Because he's Nathan Detroit.
Yeah.
Good old reliable.
Yeah.
Listen, he's Frank Sinatra, old Blue Eyes. I mean, he doesn't need to be good at anything.
No. Frank Sinatra. If we went through this whole movie not mentioning that Frank Sinatra was in it.
Listen, somebody in here had to be able to sing. He can act pretty well, too, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He does a great job. I knew Frank Sinatra, again, not as Frank Sinatra, but as Nathan Detroit.
Same. Though these days I also know him as the guy who tried to put a hit out on Woody Allen.
Did he really?
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
And he's maybe Ronan Farrow's dad. Maybe. Mia Farrow doesn't remember.
Ronan Farrow's like, might as well.
This is one of my favorite tweets ever. It's like, listen, aren't we all maybe Frank Sinatra's child?
Which was perfect answer. Hey, you know what? While I'm still talking, I'll go next.
Go for it.
No,
Brother Arvide.
Oh, good. That's what I was going to choose.
Oh, okay. Oh, fuck. That makes it less fun. Or is his name Irving or Arvide or Abernathy? What?
Arvide Abernathy.
Arvide. Okay. Well, I think. Listen, he's a New York fella. He's been around the block. He knows a lot. I bet he actually is the previous generation of gambling folk.
Oh, yeah. Clearly.
He's seen this all before. But you know what? He was a good gambler. Like, so he keeps it all not that good because he did buy that watch.
He was a good gambler, but he was also a bit of a chump.
Yeah. He was the previous Nicely.
Probably.
Yeah.
Because you gotta learn, you gotta know the sin in order to help the repentance, I guess. And so I like to think that he still has connections. And in fact, it would be pretty cool if, let's say he's got a nephew, who is in fact one of, the tall guy. Remember the tall guy from the
one in the mustard suit?
Tall guy from the very beginning of the movie. Yeah, the guy in the mustard suit who knows the whole deal. He knows everything. I'm saying he's Arvide's nephew because he stays mostly out of the problems. He's just a character. And from what I can tell, he's better at just navigating New York than fucking Nathan. Yeah, he doesn't get caught up in getting his pocket picked. He picks somebody else's pocket. It's great.
His pocket did get picked at the end.
Yep.
Oh, did it? That's hilarious.
By the ladies.
It was a magnificent moving pocket watch.
I say that, we see the story from the point of view of Uncle Irvine as he, goes out and finds out the real deal of what's going on with everything. Like, is Sky actually gonna be, okay for Sarah Brown? Like, is he on the level? And everyone's like, yeah, he's a weirdo, but, there was that time when he was in his 20s, when he got his heart broken. That's really what it's about.
I do want to say that, the stage show does have a song sung by Brother Arvide.
Yeah.
This isn't about gambling or anything. It's called More I Cannot Wish You, which is basically him telling Sarah, listen, if you love him, go get him. You deserve nice things.
Aww. And let me say, that boy is nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'd like to see him just in the background, just like checking out everything, making sure everything's okay. Maybe he knew about the crap game, to be honest, in the mission. And then he's like, but boys, you were supposed to leave before she gets back. Come on now.
That I don't believe.
Where do they get all the money for the donuts? That's what I want.
Boston?
I don't know.
The mission's budget.
Budgets. So that's the story I'd like. I think he has connections. All right, and maybe you're right. You know what? Okay, Pip, you're right. He didn't know about it, but my God, while Sky is busy being sad and Sarah's busy being angry, Uncle Arvide goes off to see his nephew and be like, what the fuck were you thinking?
This seemed like a good idea.
Yeah? Well, let me go talk to your mother. Like, oh, no!
Can I go?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Harry the horse.
Nice.
Okay.
Because I don't even want the whole movie from his perspective, because I don't care about him and Big Johnny and whatever weird energy they've got going on.
Yeah.
But I'm just fascinated by, in the beginning, he mentions that he has come into $5,000 And when asked, how did you come to get such a large pile of cash?
I've got nothing.
He's like, I have nothing to hide. I collected the reward on my father. And I just want the whole story around that. And how 99 and Penny's House Street aren't like, how terrible. They're all like, man, it must be nice to have a successful father. No one wanted my old man for more than 500.
Yeah.
Basically, I just want all of that as a story.
Legit.
Fair.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Yeah.
I just want more of that.
That's all you
I want
need.
that explanation.
Well, cause I can finish this off here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm saying Lieutenant Brannigan. And,
Fair.
and because I gotta be true to myself here, you wanna know what precinct Lieutenant Brannigan is a part of?
No.
Yeah.
No.
It's the earliest form of the 99th precinct. He is the captain before everybody else.
Okay, here's the problem with it.
It's not a problem.
The captain's
Okay.
the captain's captain's captain. The grand captain.
The grand captain. Because here's the thing. We know that Lieutenant Brannigan is quite goofy in his own way. I think it flows well.
You're right.
Yeah, that's
also,
it.
we need to see more cops. In this particular. Well, yeah, it might be nice. Not just Brannigan, I mean.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, all cops are bastards, but
True.
go off, I guess.
It's true.
Side note, we also should have a whole story about Adelaide's co-star from the Hot Box.
Oh, yeah.
Who had that
yeah.
date with Society Max.
It's her and Adelaide going into adventures.
Where they spend most of the time arguing and being angry at each other, but they still like share earrings.
They still,
Of course.
and they still go to breakfast together, or at wait, is it O'Malley's? No, what's the name of the place again?
The place.
Mindy's.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because of Mindy's cheesecake.
Yeah, they go to Mindy's together.
And like every other week, she's like, you could just dump him. Dump him.
Dump him.
Dump him,
And then they get married, and she's like, God, fine.
dump him, run off with me, what?
What? Don't worry about it.
It's fine, don't worry about it.
All right, so is that all of us?
Yeah, that's
It
all.
is.
Yeah?
Nice.
Eh?
All right. So who's gonna take us out?
It's my turn to take us out this week. And, before we do, does anybody have any new things to plug?
I have a thing I've never plugged before, which is that every week, theoretically, I have a free newsletter that people can sign up for and get delivered to their very inboxes. It's called the Small Thoughts and Minor Hours magazine. You can look it up by, I don't know, be good if I knew. It's a Patreon thing, so it's patreon.com/Catherine Crichton. But you do not have to pay money. It is free. If you want to put a tip jar in, that's fine. But otherwise, it's just talking about nice stuff, an escape from doom scrolling. An escape from all the Backstreet Boys reunion tour. It's just me writing essays about my life and weird shit like recipes and stuff that you can't really follow because I forget half the ingredients.
She really does. I've seen it.
Anyway, I invite people to, I do it mostly for myself, but I invite others to join in.
Let's see. And I still have my third Saturday of the month, online shows, benefiting the Arcade Comedy Theater.
Nice.
Cool.
Hey Pip, have you stirred that Substack yet?
Theoretically, but it just has the one depressing post.
Cool. Well, get started on that and then you'll have something to shill too.
I see how it is.
Yup.
And of course, Alex is working on Body in the Void.
Body in the Void. We all know that.
Yeah, I mean, duh.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Wow.
Alrighty. And with that, as always, if you have an idea or prompt to submit, head on over to nostorysacred.com/submission. You can follow us on Twitter at nostorysacred, or you can send us an email through contact@nostorysacred.com. Your hosts have been Alex McDonald, Brendan McDonald, Pippin McDonald, and Catherine Crichton. Editing for this episode done by Brendan. Transcript done by Ashley DaCosta. Art by Jay Wolf. Show notes and transcript are available at nostorysacred.com. And thanks for listening, everybody. And please rate, review, and subscribe to No Story is Sacred. You can visit our Patreon page to support the show and get neat rewards at patreon.com/nostorysacred. See you next time when we get to celebrate Moss Chris with the 2018 movie Agatha and the Truth of Murder. 'Cause get it? It's Agatha Christy.
We're so fucking clever, I can't even handle it.
So witty.
Until then, where no story is sacred, and any story can be changed. I'm Brendan.
I'm Pippin.
I'm Alex.
And I'm Kat.
And we're No Story is Sacred.
Sacred.